Last week, we showed you the creative process. This week, we're going to show you how that design went from paper to reality. We start out by laying plywood down on this lawn. Now, a lot of the lawn is going to get destroyed and it's going to have to be replaced. But the more we try to preserve the site, the less restoration is needed in the end. As I explained in the design video, this customer had a paver patio. They liked the pavers, but it was cutting their yard into two parts. There was a large portion of their yard that was a planted surface that one, wasn't functional lawn panel, and two, wasn't functional hard surface, and they weren't able to utilize that. We moved the hard surface there to create function, but give them a much larger lawn panel that they could play on. Here you can see me and the guys ripping up the old pavers, but we're palletizing them and putting them off to the side to save them for later use. Once the pavers were pulled up, we need a clean construction site, so we put down a minimal amount of gravel just to work around. The walls go up first because we don't want to disturb our gravel once it's flat, and we certainly don't want to build the walls once the patio's there and set the brick saw down, damaging the nice pavers. Especially in this case, since we're recycling old pavers, we can't just buy pavers off the shelf that have the same patina as these 30-year-old pavers that we're reinstalling in a different configuration. So we really have to be careful with the pavers, and we have to be conservative in our design not to go over our square footage. Here you see Doug painting out where the staircase is going to go, and if you look in close, I can even point to it. This is where the stairs are. We figure out the elevation of each step because each step is its own retaining wall starting at its own base level. So I mark all that out in the walls so that it's easier for the guys to lay it down. Here the guys are starting with the base for the outer step because each step is going to be built, glued together, and we'll wait for it to harden to start compacting gravel behind it in order to start the next step at the appropriate level so that we have even risers throughout. You can see that we all broke up into groups, taking on our own projects in order to get both steps, the seat wall, the fire pit, and the built-in grill done on the same day. That way, all the glue can harden overnight, and I can get some guys started on finishing the base the next day. We brought in the gravel and it was all hands on deck. Big machines, small machines, rakes and compactors. Once the gravel's down, we take 1/2-inch gas pipes so that we can screed over them. The interior dimension is 1/2 inch, the exterior dimension is about 3/4 of an inch, and the maximum sand that we want down is 1 inch. This gives us a nice level surface above our gravel with the minimal amount of sand so that we can lay the bricks on it and then compact them down in to interlock them together. Sand is down and it's time to reuse those old pavers. We scoop them up and start laying them in convenient places so that our helpers can hand them to our bricklayers. Once the patio is done, it's time for my favorite part of the project, which is plants. Greenery just, I don't know, makes everything so much more comfortable. I want to live in a lush green environment full of native plants that make sense for my space. That's what we deliver to each and every one of our customers. Not only do we choose great plants for the space, but we also keep in mind how they're going to perform throughout the season so that the customer's living space progresses through the season, always giving them something interesting to look at all times. it down, it's time to grade and sod. Sod is not really my favorite plant in the world. It's just a irresponsible monoculture, actually. But it is functional. It creates a space that the customers can engage in, and it's like the construction site magic eraser. Once we flatten out that dirt and lay out the sod, looks like we were never there. You saw this project unfold. Now it's time to see some beauty shots of how it all ended up. I love how that project wrapped up. The customer loved it. Now I want to know, what do you think about it? Tell us in the comments below. If you enjoyed that video and you want to see more like it, subscribe to our channel, click on the notifications. If you want to know more about our company, there's some client testimonials. The design video I referenced in the beginning is right there. I'm Scott Flanagan. I appreciate you watching our videos. I'll see you in the next one.